There was a Welsh woman who lived in a valley far away from a town or a city. She was simple minded, hard working, and knew little about the ways of the world. At great sacrifice to herself, she had electricity installed in her little cottage. You use the electric lights so little, I wonder if it was worth what it cost you to have them put in, a neighbor said. "Well, yes," answered the woman. "I switch them on every night to see to light my lamps. Then I switch them off." With great power at her command, with the flip of a switch, she continued the task of trimming wicks, pouring oil, and lighting the lamps. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Greene, and this is God in America, where faith and freedom walk hand in hand. The elites possess hidden power like electricity that runs our houses. We don't usually see it, but we know it's there. Just like the lady in the story, we often resort to less than what we could when more is available. Today, let's talk about something most people overlook. Power hides behind symbols, and governments and empires and even movements use images and rituals to gain control by shaping belief. Because once you win people's hearts through symbols, you rarely need to chain their bodies. Hitler used the swastika. The Masonic lodges employ the square and compass. Donald Trump uses MAGA. From the very beginning, mankind has been drawn to symbols. They can represent ideas, loyalty, and hope. But when they replace truth, they become tools of control. In Daniel 3, King Nebuchadnezzar erected a golden image to symbolize Babylon's glory. The law was simple. When the music played, everyone had to bow because it symbolized imperial power. Refusal was rebellion. When the three Hebrew boys refused to bow, they defied more than a statue. They defied a symbol of tyranny. Their faith declared, "We will not worship any image. We will worship the invisible God." That story is more than ancient history, it's a warning. Power often cloaks itself in beauty and ceremony until what appears to be unity becomes enforced conformity. Even in Jesus' time, symbols were used to disguise corruption. The Roman eagle raised high above the legions represented Caesar's supremacy. Citizens swore allegiance to that symbol, and by doing so, the emperor himself. It's no accident that when the Pharisees tried to trap Jesus, they showed him a coin with Caesar's image. "Whose image is this?" Jesus asked. "Caesar's," they replied. Jesus said, "Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar, and to God the things that are God's." It was a subtle but powerful truth. Your coins may bear Caesar's image, but you bear God's. Your ultimate allegiance belongs to him. Fast forward to early America. The founders knew too well how the British crown had become a symbol of tyranny. The king's image on a coin, his stamps on a document, weren't just legal marks, they were reminders of subjugation. When the colonies declared independence, they didn't just throw off the British Army. They threw off the symbols of royal control. They took the crown off the currency. They tore down statues of the king, and in their place, they raised new symbols: the Liberty Bell, the flag, the eagle. But here's what made those American symbols different. They were meant to remind the people that power flows from the creator to the individual, not from the government to the governed. As Thomas Jefferson wrote, all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. The Declaration didn't start with "we the government," but with "we the people." Modern officials are shocked when Christian Americans declare God's authority to give rights, not the government. The American eagle became a national emblem, not to demand worship, but to symbolize freedom. But patriots, we must ask ourselves, have our modern symbols become idols again? Do we pledge allegiance, or do we treat it with respect due God? Do we pledge allegiance to justice or to political parties wrapped in colors and slogans? Do we follow truth or logos and labels that make us feel righteous? Symbols can unite, but they can also blind us to the power at work in our land. Paul warned believers in 2 Corinthians 5, verse 7, that we walk by faith, not by sight. That's more than a verse about unseen hope. It's a call to live beyond manipulation. The devil has always used images, words, and slogans to deceive. He doesn't need an army if he can capture imagination. And Revelation 13 tells us of another symbol, a beast and a mark, a warning that the final form of deception will be visual, emotional, and total. It's not just a story of the future, it's a reminder to stay awake in the present. Here's the truth. Power always hides where people stop thinking and start feeling. Nebuchadnezzar had his statue, Rome had its eagle, Britain had its crown, and today's world has its brands, screens, and hashtags. Modern idols demanding loyalty. But the church was never meant to bow to images. We were made to bear His image, to reflect His truth, and to speak with love and courage when others stay silent. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness, Paul said. The fight isn't against statues or slogans. It's against the invisible forces that use them to enslave. So patriots, stay alert. Honor symbols when they point to the truth, but never worship them when they replace it. The only power worthy of our devotion is the one who said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Dr. Benjamin Rush summed up the answer to America's idolatrous dilemma when he declared, I've been alternately called an aristocrat and a Democrat. I'm neither. I'm a Christocrat. I believe all power will always fail of producing order and happiness in the hands of man. He alone who created and redeemed man is qualified to govern him. America needs a fresh view of God. Well, thanks for joining me today on God in America. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe to our podcasts. Until next time, stand firm in the faith, think clearly, and keep the light of truth in symbols burning.